Welcome, everyone, to Lively Later Life. This is your dedicated space, a place we've really tried to cultivate, designed specifically for nurturing your cognitive health and, well, keeping your mind vibrant as you embrace your golden years, especially right here in Canada. We are genuinely thrilled you've chosen to spend some time with us today.
We really are. And today we are indeed embarking on let's call it a significant deep dive. We're exploring a topic that I think genuinely holds the key to unlocking just an incredible amount of untapped potential for all of us. It's the transformative power of embracing lifelong learning.
Hmm.
It's remarkably common, isn't it, to find ourselves sort of subconsciously believing that our learning days are firmly behind us.
Oh, absolutely.
Perhaps once we've completed our formal schooling, or maybe especially once we've retired from our careers, there's this quiet assumption that the chapter on active learning has simply closed.
I understand that sentiment completely. It's such a pervasive idea, yet often it's just not founded in reality. It reminds me immediately of my wonderful Aunt Carol. She lives out in beautiful West Vancouver. For years, she'd often say with a bit of a chuckle, I'm far too old to learn any new tricks. And she really believed that. For a good while in her early retirement, she felt she'd learned all she needed to, that her brain was maybe set in its ways.
That feeling is so relatable.
But then something shifted for her. About 3 years into her retirement, almost on a whim, really, she decided to sign up for a beginner's pottery class, just at her local community center, right down the road. And I have to tell you, she was incredibly nervous at first, really nervous. She told me she felt like she had two left hands, wasn't sure she'd even make a straight line, let alone, center clay or make a bowl. The thought of failing, especially in front of others, that was a real hurdle for her.
That initial hesitancy, it's so common, isn't it? That fear of the unknown or maybe of not being good right away can definitely be a barrier to just starting. But what happened once she, pushed past that initial discomfort?
That's where her story truly becomes inspiring. Within just a few weeks, she was absolutely hooked. Completely. She called me up just bubbling over with excitement. And it wasn't just about the clay itself, though she did start making some surprisingly lovely pieces, I have to say. She said it was about the entire process, the constant, fascinating problem solving, figuring out how to get the clay to cooperate, how to achieve the right consistency, how to fix something that went wrong. It was the satisfaction of learning new techniques with her hands, feeling the material transform. And she specifically told me she felt her brain waking up. That's the phrase she used. Waking up in a way it hadn't in years, like rediscovering a part of herself that had been, well, dormant.
Wow, waking up. That's powerful.
It really is. But here's where it gets even more compelling for me. She began noticing tangible improvements in other parts of her life, really noticeable things. She found herself remembering details better, just across the board. She'd recall appointments, names of new people she met, even where she'd put her keys or her favorite knitting needles, with much greater ease. Her cognitive gears, as she put it, felt lubricated.
That's fascinating. So it wasn't isolated.
Not at all. Her words from that conversation really stuck with me. I think about them often. Who knew, she said, who knew learning something new could feel so good and make me feel so much sharper and more connected? Her initial belief, that whole too old thing, was completely overturned by the sheer joy and the very clear cognitive benefits she felt.
Aunt Carol's story, truly, it just perfectly illustrates such a profound truth. The human brain is an incredible, dynamic, lifelong learner. It really is. It's remarkably easy to fall into that trap, believing our peak learning years are behind us, or that the only real learning happens in a formal classroom. But the fundamental truth, and it's backed by a ton of modern neuroscience, is that staying curious, actively engaging your mind, consistently challenging yourself throughout retirement, these are genuinely some of the most powerful, proactive things you can possibly do for your cognitive health. It's not just about, preventing decline. It's about fostering continued growth, adaptability, and even enhancing your brain's capacity well into your later years.
Absolutely. And for you, our listeners, our lively later life community, does Aunt Carol's story spark a little flicker of inspiration? Maybe? Perhaps you've had a similar experience yourself. We're trying something totally new, unexpectedly sharpened your mind. What's one thing you've always wanted to learn? Something that's been sitting on your someday list, maybe for years. Or perhaps what's a new skill you've recently picked up that brought you unexpected joy? Or that feeling of mental sharpness Aunt Carol described? We'd absolutely love for you to share your brilliant ideas with us. Your curiosity, your experiences, they really can spark a brighter future. Not just for you, but for all of us in this wonderful community.
So today our mission here is precisely that, to help you reignite that innate curiosity, to maybe fan those embers into a warm, bright flame. We truly believe that a lively later life is inherently a life of continuous growth, of exploration and discovery. So consider this deep dive your inspiring guide, maybe a comprehensive look at the evidence. We're here to explore precisely why lifelong learning isn't just a fun pastime, something to merely fill the hours. It's actually a profoundly powerful, scientifically supported strategy for maintaining a sharper mind, for significantly boosting your memory and problem-solving abilities, and even for improving your overall well-being and sense of purpose. It's truly holistic.
That's exactly right. We're going to delve into the fascinating science, how learning new things literally changes your brain for the better. We'll talk about building what scientists call cognitive reserve, kind of a mental resilience. We'll explore formal ways to learn, informal ways, debunk some common myths that hold people back, and give you some actionable steps to get started. So get ready to truly empower yourselves. We want you to feel excited to embrace learning in all its wonderful forms. Let's make sure your mind stays bright, adaptable, and, well, wonderfully full of wonder for all the years ahead. Let's dive into the brain science that makes this all possible.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, shall we? When we actually learn something new, when we tackle a fresh challenge, what is genuinely happening inside our brains, at a neurological level? Are we truly, scientifically, becoming smarter in a measurable way? Because it's more than just a feeling, right?
That's the fundamental question, isn't it?
Yeah.
It certainly feels like something profound is happening. That sense of mental stretch, the gears turning, connections clicking into place. But what's the actual science behind that feeling beyond just perception?
Well, it's absolutely happening. And the revolutionary concept behind it all is called neuroplasticity. We really need to forget any outdated ideas that your brain is somehow fixed or unchanging after a certain age. Modern neuroscience has completely overturned that. Neuroplasticity refers to your brain's utterly remarkable and lifelong ability to reorganize itself. It does this by constantly forming new neural connections between brain cells, and crucially strengthening existing ones too, throughout your entire life. Think of it not as a static machine, but more like a dynamic, constantly evolving landscape, always capable of adapting. So when you pick up a new skill, maybe it's learning to knit a complex pattern, or tackling conversational French, or even mastering a new multi-step recipe. You're not merely acquiring information. You are, quite literally, actively building and strengthening these intricate networks of neural pathways inside your brain. It's like paving totally new roads or adding more efficient lanes to a busy, ever-expanding highway system in there. Each new piece of information, each skill lays down new neurological roads for your thoughts to travel on.
So every time I struggle to remember, say, a new German verb or try to recall a historical date, my brain isn't just retrieving info, it's actively resculpting itself. That's genuinely profound. It implies this continuous capacity for change.
Precisely. And this continuous resculpting, it leads directly to another vital concept called cognitive reserve. Imagine your brain not just as a static storage unit, but more like a robust bank account. But instead of money, this account is filled with a rich network of strong neural connections, diverse processing pathways, efficient communication routes between different brain regions.
Okay, like a mental savings account.
Exactly. Every new skill you learn, every piece of knowledge you acquire, every complex problem you solve, every mentally engaging experience you have, each one acts like a valuable deposit into this cognitive reserve. You are, in essence, building up a stronger, more resilient brain. This reserve acts like a buffer, a protective shield, allowing your brain to better withstand the natural effects of aging, which might include some neuronal loss or maybe diminished efficiency. And crucially, research suggests it can even help your brain compensate for the initial changes associated with certain neurodegenerative diseases, making their impact less apparent or delaying their onset. It's a proactive, lifelong investment in your brain's future resilience, like having deep financial savings to weather economic storms.
That's incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
So the more diverse and challenging I keep my learning, the more resilient my brain potentially becomes against, well, the passage of time and even certain health issues. That offers a real sense of agency.
Exactly. And it gets even more remarkable. There's a phenomenon called neurogenesis. For many, many years, the scientific community largely believed that adult humans couldn't grow new brain cells. The idea was you were born with a finite number and that was it. But groundbreaking research has now definitively shown that in specific areas of the brain, particularly the hippocampus, which is vital for learning and memory, the very act of engaging in novel learning and mentally stimulating activities can actually stimulate the growth of new brain
New
cells.
brain cells. Really?
Yes, it's not just about rewiring the existing connections. It's about literally adding new components, new functional units to the system. This is just a profound testament to the brain's enduring capacity for renewal.
Wow. That's almost like a tiny continuous regeneration, like growing new little sprouts in the garden inside your head, replenishing its resources. That completely turns older ideas about brain aging on their head.
It truly does. And beyond generating new cells, there's also the immense benefit of enhanced and improved connectivity. When you engage in diverse subjects, say, one week you're taking an online course in ancient history, the next you're immersed in a hands-on photography workshop, maybe you're learning to play the ukulele, you're fostering varied and complex connections across different, sometimes seemingly unrelated parts of your brain.
Right, cross-training for the brain.
Exactly. This kind of cross-training demands that different neural networks collaborate, integrate information in new ways. This leads to greater overall efficiency, faster processing speeds, and remarkable adaptability in your cognitive function. Your brain becomes more agile, better at making novel connections, seeing patterns it might not have before, transferring skills from one area to another. It's like teaching different sections of an orchestra to play together in new, harmonious ways, resulting in richer, more complex symphonies of thought.
So it's not just about deepening one specific skill. It's the breadth and variety of learning that creates these new efficient pathways all over the brain. To put it simply for our listeners, it's like giving your brain a truly fantastic, multifaceted workout. Just like you might do different physical exercises for different muscles and overall fitness, learning builds new brain muscle, keeping it strong, flexible, and wonderfully nimble, ready for anything.
That's a perfect, accessible way to visualize it. And to expand on that idea a bit, I often like to think of every new thing you learn as planting a new, unique seed in your brain's garden. Hmm. Imagine your brain as this vibrant, fertile garden, always expanding. Each new language you try, each artistic technique you explore, each historical fact you integrate, each new recipe you master, these are all different types of seeds, right? They require different care, yield unique blooms. The more diverse seeds you plant, the more diligently you nurture them with practice and engagement, the richer, the more vibrant, and crucially, the more resilient and adaptable your brain's garden becomes. It's a living, growing landscape that constantly provides new pathways for thought, new opportunities for understanding, new avenues for joy. And the beauty is, this garden can keep flourishing and expanding throughout your entire life.
That truly paints such a vivid, compelling picture. It makes the science feel very real, very tangible. So now that we understand these amazing things happening inside our brains, the neuroplasticity, the cognitive reserve, even new cells, let's bridge that gap for our listeners. How does all this scientific brain growth translate into concrete, practical, real-world benefits? Especially for us navigating our golden years, what can we actually expect to feel and experience day to day?
That's absolutely the most important question, isn't it? The science is fascinating, but the practical benefits are what really empower us and encourage us to jump in. And lifelong learning offers, well, an absolute treasure trove of advantages. It profoundly makes our daily lives richer, more engaging, and our minds demonstrably sharper. First off, and this is a big one for many, let's talk about memory enhancement. It's a common worry that memory might feel less reliable as we age.
Very common.
However, when you actively engage in learning, maybe it's memorizing historical dates, new French vocabulary, or even the complex steps for a new line dance, you are constantly exercising and challenging your brain's memory systems. Retrieval, storage, the whole works. This consistent, deliberate practice significantly helps improve both your short-term memory, the kind that helps you remember where you put your glasses, what you need at the grocery store, the name of that new neighbor.
The everyday stuff.
Exactly. And also your long-term memory, enabling you to recall cherished moments, important facts, or complex information with greater clarity and detail. It's a direct, targeted workout for your brain's recall circuits, making them more efficient, more robust.
So it's not just about remembering the new things you're learning, but the act of learning strengthens the whole memory mechanism for everything else. That's a systemic benefit.
Exactly. It's a transferable skill, a systemic improvement that ripples out. And this leads directly to sharper problem-solving skills. When you start any new learning journey, you inevitably hit bumps, right? Obstacles, moments of confusion, whether it's figuring out why your code isn't working in an online course, or why your watercolor painting looks muddy, or solving a tricky Sudoku, or even just adjusting a new recipe that isn't quite right. These challenges inherently compel your brain to think creatively, use logical analysis, and devise effective solutions. You become better at breaking down complex issues, experimenting with different approaches, finding innovative ways forward. And this refined problem-solving ability isn't just for the learning task, it's a meta skill. It applies across all aspects of life, from managing household things to making decisions. Then there's a noticeable improvement in increased focus and sustained attention. Many learning activities, especially new or complex ones, demand you pay attention for a sustained period. Imagine trying to follow intricate instructions for a craft project, or listening intently to a detailed lecture, or attempting to master a difficult piece on the piano. These demands act like resistance training for your attention span. They strengthen those vital cognitive muscles. You might find yourself less easily distracted, able to concentrate longer on tasks, more fully present in conversations and activities. This improved focus enhances the quality of all your experiences.
I can certainly see how building that kind of mental stamina would make daily life feel smoother, more enjoyable, allows for deeper engagement with everything. That sounds incredibly beneficial.
Absolutely. And then there's the profound impact on improved mood and significantly reduced stress levels. That intrinsic sense of accomplishment you get when you grasp a new concept, overcome a learning hurdle, or master a new skill, it's incredibly powerful, deeply satisfying. It provides a huge, tangible boost to self-esteem, self-efficacy, confidence. This feeling of progress, personal growth, ongoing discovery, it can significantly mitigate feelings of boredom, listlessness, maybe anxiety that can sometimes creep in during retirement or periods with less structure.
Hmm.
When your mind is actively engaged, challenged, stimulated by learning, it's far less prone to dwelling on negative thoughts or worries. There's a genuine, profound joy and intellectual curiosity in just expanding your understanding. It fosters purpose and vibrancy.
That makes so much sense.
And let's not overlook the immense benefit of new social connections. Many learning opportunities, especially classes, workshops, group hobbies, naturally involve engaging with others who share similar interests. Whether it's discussing a book in a club, collaborating on an art project, practicing Spanish with a conversation partner, or just chatting during a break at a community college course here in BC. These interactions are invaluable. They combat social isolation, foster new friendships, expand your circle, enrich your social life. These meaningful connections aren't just a nice side effect. They're vital for overall well-being, emotional health, and even further cognitive stimulation through dialogue.
So it really touches on so many important pillars of a truly fulfilling life. It's not just about the brain in isolation, but the whole person. And what's truly empowering to emphasize is that the purpose of lifelong learning goes way beyond just preventing cognitive decline. While that's certainly a wonderful, well-documented side effect, the primary goal, the profound benefit, is really about actively promoting overall growth, vitality, and a richer human experience. Full stop. It's about living a fuller, more engaged, and infinitely more interesting life.
Precisely. And here's a crucial point, maybe a lively later life smart tip to really take to heart. Don't feel pressured ever to become an absolute expert or a grandmaster in every new thing you try. The primary goal, the real goal, is engagement, curiosity, and enjoyment of the process. It's about the journey of discovery, the mental stimulation, the simple act of trying and exploring, even just dabbling in a new subject for a short time, trying a few introductory lessons on a language app, attending one lecture on a topic you knew nothing about, attempting a challenging new recipe can yield substantial cognitive benefits. It's about the consistent act of stretching your mind, encountering novelty, embracing challenge, not necessarily about earning another diploma or achieving professional mastery. The brain thrives on novelty and challenge, not necessarily perfection.
That's such a freeing thought. Really important. The value is in the engagement, the process itself. And for those of us who maybe do thrive in a more structured environment, or just prefer having a clear map and a guide for our intellectual adventures, there are truly countless opportunities available right here in our Canadian communities and online too.
Absolutely. The landscape for formal learning has really blossomed, making it more accessible and tailored than ever before. Let's start with online courses, often called MOOCs, massive open online courses. Platforms like Coursera, edX, even big university websites like, say, UBC or SFU right here in BC, often offer an incredible array of free or very low-cost online content. These courses cover a huge spectrum: history, literature, basic coding, photography, global affairs, you name it. The real beauty here is the flexibility. You learn at your own pace, from home, whether you're in Burnaby or Victoria or anywhere else. Pause, replay, absorb it exactly as it suits you. It's like having a world-class university campus right in your living room, open 24/7.
The sheer variety available online is truly mind-boggling sometimes. You can spend a lifetime exploring right from your armchair. And the quality is often surprisingly high.
Indeed. And then we have our fantastic local community colleges and continuing education programs. Right here in British Columbia, places like Langara College, Capilano University, or Kwantlen Polytechnic University, they aren't just for younger degree-seeking students. They offer an amazing array of non-credit courses, specialized workshops, and often programs specifically designed for seniors, frequently at reduced rates. These are absolutely fantastic for acquiring practical skills, maybe digital art, creative writing, personal finance, even a language like Mandarin or Spanish. Or for just exploring a hobby in depth, or diving into an academic subject like philosophy or astronomy that always fascinated you. It's a wonderful way to get that campus buzz without the pressure of exams and connect with fellow learners.
I know so many people who found a whole new passion or rediscovered an old one through those kinds of accessible programs that offer a great blend of structure and freedom.
And we absolutely cannot forget our incredible public libraries. Libraries across BC, think Vancouver Public Library, Surrey Libraries, or smaller regional ones in places like Kelowna or Nanaimo. There's so much more than just book repositories now. They're dynamic community hubs. They frequently host free workshops on all sorts of topics, lectures by local experts, author readings, and very importantly, technology classes. If you've been hesitant about computers, tablets, smartphones, or just navigating the internet, these free tech classes are invaluable, often taught by really patient-friendly staff. They're community pillars for learning.
Absolutely essential resources.
And of course, many local senior centers are absolute powerhouses of learning, activity, and social connection. They often provide an incredibly diverse range of classes, foreign languages, computer skills, art like watercolor or sculpting, even music lessons. Beyond the learning, they're just excellent places to meet new people, build friendships, and find a supportive community around shared interests. Vibrant places to learn and socialize, often with tea afterwards.
It really sounds like no matter your preference, whether it's the focused solitude of online learning or the lively camaraderie of a physical classroom, there's truly something accessible for everyone, right in their community, or just a click away. And maybe to put a helpful frame on this, for those who do appreciate structure, think of these formal learning opportunities as guided adventures for your brain. Having that map, a knowledgeable guide, maybe fellow explorers journeying with you, it can make the whole discovery process feel even more rewarding, more structured, and often just more fun as you navigate new intellectual landscapes together.
That's a beautiful way to put it, emphasizing the shared journey. Because while formal classes offer fantastic structure, it's also crucial to remember learning isn't exclusively confined to classrooms, online or otherwise. Everyday life is absolutely brimming with informal learning opportunities if we just cultivate the mindset to recognize and seize them.
That's such a vital point. You really don't need a textbook or a certificate to learn something new every single day to stretch your mind. Let's start with simply engaging actively in new hobbies or maybe deepening existing ones. Think about it. Picking up a guitar, a piano, or even a ukulele demands learning finger positions, music theory, reading notes, developing coordination. Learning to paint involves understanding color theory, perspective, light, shadow, mastering brushstrokes. Starting a new craft, like quilting or woodworking, means understanding materials, tools, processes. Even advanced gardening, understanding soil, plant diseases, pruning, grafting, all involve acquiring new skills, scientific concepts, continuous problem solving. Each one stretches your mind in different stimulating ways, often without you even labeling it as learning.
And that very act of concentrated multisensory engagement is profoundly good for brain health. Then there's the immense power of diverse reading. We all have our favorite genres, right? Thrillers, memoirs, historical novels, whatever. But consciously challenging yourself to move beyond your usual reading habits can be incredibly stimulating. So just exploring nonfiction on a topic you know absolutely nothing about, quantum physics, ancient Rome, the global economy, or dive into historical fiction from a completely unfamiliar period. Read articles on science or culture outside your comfort zone. This isn't just about facts. It's about broadening your knowledge, exposing yourself to new perspectives, new ways of thinking, creating new neural connections as your brain integrates unfamiliar info. It's constant mental expansion.
Oh, I agree. Tackling a challenging nonfiction book or a really well-researched article can feel like a genuine mental workout, but in the best possible way. Leaves you feeling invigorated, more informed.
Yeah, absolutely. And how about travel and exploration? You don't need a grand world tour. Even exploring new places right here in British Columbia, a trip to Vancouver Island to learn about its indigenous history and ecosystems, or exploring the Okanagan Valley's wine industry, or even just visiting a new neighborhood in your own city exposes you to new cultures, histories, environments, ways of life. This kind of experiential learning is incredibly stimulating.
Yeah.
It forces your brain to process novel sensory info, adapt, draw connections. It awakens your senses and broadens your understanding of the world right around you.
It's not just the pretty sights. It's that deeper mental engagement that comes with stepping outside the routine, experiencing something new.
Exactly. And speaking of engagement, engaging conversations are such a powerful, accessible, and often overlooked everyday learning tool. Actively listening to others, truly hearing their viewpoints, discussing current events, engaging in good-spirited debates about ideas or issues, all of this keeps your mind sharp. It requires you to formulate thoughts, articulate arguments, understand different perspectives, synthesize info on the fly. It's spontaneous, organic learning, always available, enriching both your mind and relationships.
And in this digital age, we absolutely can't forget the almost limitless resource of online tutorials. YouTube, for instance, is truly a vast treasure trove of how-to videos for practically anything you might want to learn. From fixing a leaky faucet to grasping basic coding, learning that new instrument, or mastering a specific cooking technique, there's almost always a step-by-step guide waiting. It's like having millions of experts, each in their niche, ready to teach you anything, often for free right at your fingertips.
It's an endless personalized school, always open. And here's another lively later life smart tip to help you harness these informal opportunities. Consider keeping a curiosity journal, just a small notebook or even a note on your phone. Jot down questions that pop into your head during the day, maybe an unfamiliar word, a historical reference, wondering how something works. Or list topics you want to explore further based on a conversation or something you read. This simple practice primes your brain for discovery, makes you more observant, and gives you a ready, personalized list of things to learn next. It turns everyday wondering into action.
Those are fantastic, really practical ideas for weaving learning into daily life,
Yeah.
making it feel less like a task and more like just living fully. But let's be honest, sometimes old beliefs or just practical challenges can feel like real roadblocks when we think about starting something new. So let's tackle some of those common obstacles head on, because often they're more about perception than reality.
Absolutely, let's do that. The first, and maybe the most pervasive barrier we hear, is that deeply ingrained myth. I'm too old to learn, or my brain just isn't what it used to be. Let me be crystal clear. This is a scientifically debunked myth. As we've discussed, your brain is designed for lifelong learning and adaptation. It thrives on novelty and challenge, regardless of your age on the calendar. The idea that learning capacity just plummets, making new skills impossible, is simply outdated science. So instead of focusing on perfection, which can be daunting, focus on progress. Every small step, every new concept grasped, every tiny skill acquired, that's a huge win for your brain. Embrace the journey, not just some distant, perfect destination.
That's such a huge psychological hurdle for so many people. It's so important to dismantle that belief. And tied to that, I think, is often the fear of failure. We hesitate because we're afraid we won't be good at it, or we'll feel foolish, maybe in front of others, or even just to ourselves.
A very common, very human concern. The key here is to fundamentally shift your perspective. Embrace the learning process itself as valuable, rather than fixating only on the outcome. Making mistakes isn't just natural, it's essential. It's how we learn. Recognizing what didn't work, refining our approach, iterating, that's where true growth happens. Think of it as part of the fun, an engaging puzzle, not a sign of inadequacy. Remember, every expert was once a beginner, making countless mistakes. Shift that inner voice from "I might fail" to "I will learn and grow no matter what."
Right. What about the common complaint, especially for active retirees, of a perceived lack of time? Life can still be incredibly busy, right? Family, volunteering, social life.
Time management is definitely a real concern, but it absolutely doesn't have to stop you. You don't need huge blocks of hours every day. Even consistent 15 to 30-minute daily sessions, or maybe 3 or 4 focus sessions a week, can add up to significant progress. Think of it as intellectual snacking or microlearning. A short online tutorial with morning coffee, quick practice on an instrument before dinner, reading a few pages of a challenging book at night. Small doses, consistently applied, build remarkable knowledge. It's about integrating it smartly, not rearranging your whole life. Consistency trumps intensity here.
And a really significant one for many, with technology advancing so fast, is technology phobia, or just feeling overwhelmed by digital tools. The idea of learning online, navigating a new website, using an app, it can feel daunting.
That should absolutely not be a deterrent. Modern tech, while maybe intimidating at first, is actually a powerful gateway to so much learning. The great news is, as we mentioned, many public libraries and senior centers across BC offer free, accessible tech literacy classes. They can guide you patiently through the basics: computers, internet safety, email, even social media. And honestly, don't hesitate to ask younger folks in your life. A grandchild, niece, nephew, a tech-savvy friend, they often love to share their knowledge. It's a great way to connect across generations, too.
Good point. So once we've tackled those mental hurdles and practical worries, how do we actually get started in a manageable way? What are some clear, actionable steps someone listening right now could take?
Okay, let's lay out some clear, practical steps to get you going on this rewarding journey. First, and maybe most crucial, identify your spark. Take some quiet time. What genuinely excites you? What have you always secretly wanted to try, even if it seems silly? What question keeps nagging at you? Sometimes it's a dormant passion from youth. Sometimes it's something totally new. That personal connection is your best motivator. Don't learn something just because you feel you should.
That's key. Find what genuinely excites you, not an obligation.
Exactly. Second, and this is vital for avoiding overwhelm, start small. Please do not try to learn a whole language in a week or become a chess master overnight. Begin with a manageable, bite-sized piece. Learn just a few new words daily. Watch one short 10-minute tutorial. Read one introductory article. Small successes build confidence and create that crucial momentum.
Bite-sized pieces. Got it.
Third, a powerful motivator. Find a learning buddy. Learning can be wonderfully social. Join a class with a friend or find someone online with a similar interest. Having someone to share the journey, practice with, discuss challenges and wins, or just bounce ideas off, it's incredibly motivating and makes it more fun and sustainable. Shared discovery is powerful.
That social connection, that accountability, can make a huge difference.
It absolutely can. Fourth, once you've chosen your path and your small first step, make it a habit. Schedule dedicated learning time into your week. Treat it like an important appointment. Consistency, remember, is more important than intensity for building those neural pathways. Even just 20 minutes regularly makes a difference. Carve out that time.
Protect that time.
Precisely. And finally, fifth, celebrate progress, no matter how small. Acknowledge and truly celebrate your small victories. Each concept understood, skill acquired, correct answer, successful step. These are significant wins for your brain, your confidence, your motivation. Don't wait for some grand milestone. Recognize the growth, the mental stretch, the courage it took just to begin. That positive reinforcement fuels continued engagement.
That's a beautiful, encouraging way to approach it. The journey really is filled with these little triumphs.
It truly is, and that's perhaps our ultimate lively, later life smart advice for this whole deep dive. The joy of learning, the intrinsic reward of discovery, is its own magnificent prize. Focus on the rich, stimulating process of exploration itself, not just a distant outcome. Embrace the mental stimulation, the new insights, the wonderful new connections you form, both those neural pathways flourishing inside your amazing brain and the meaningful social connections you make with others who share your curiosity. This continuous engagement, this active embrace of learning, is the very essence of a truly sharp mind and a profoundly lively later life.
There you have it, our wonderful, lively later life community. We've journeyed together through the incredible, dynamic world of lifelong learning. We've explored its profound impact on our cognitive health, our overall well-being. We've really discovered why embracing new knowledge and skills is such a powerful, accessible pathway to a truly sharp mind and a brighter future.
Remember, every new challenge you take on a formal course, a hands-on workshop, a new hobby like painting or gardening, it literally helps grow and strengthen your brain. This continuous engagement boosts memory, sharpens problem solving, and enhances your overall sense of purpose and joy. It's an active process of renewal.
And this isn't just about holding off decline, though that's a wonderful benefit. More importantly, it's about actively thriving, maintaining intellectual vitality, and unlocking new passions as you embrace your golden years here in Canada. It's about vibrant, engaged living every single day.
If this deep dive has inspired you, if it sparked that little flicker of curiosity, please take a moment right now to give us a thumbs up. Your support genuinely helps us reach more folks in our lively later life community. And critically, don't forget to subscribe to the Lively Later Life channel and hit that notification bell. That way, you won't miss out on more episodes in our Sharp Mind, Bright Future series or any other valuable content we create just for you.
We'd absolutely love to hear from you, our lively later life community. What's one specific thing you're now inspired to learn after listening today? What sparked your interest? Or, if you've already found some great learning spots, what's a wonderful local resource right here in British Columbia or elsewhere in Canada that you've discovered? Please share your ideas and experiences in the comments below. Your curiosity could truly ignite someone else's journey.
Until next time, please stay curious, keep learning, and continue embracing your lively later life to the absolute fullest.